Hello, fabulous Taurus. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of March 2016, General Focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. It's eclipse season, and eclipses really work overtime. They're like new moons and full moons working overtime to bring us back into alignment with a path that is moving us towards greater love and greater wisdom. And wherever it is that we've been going way off track, the more dramatically we'll be brought back. Where it is that we have been working with consciousness, working with awareness to stay in alignment with that path, this can be a time where we are propelled forward in the best possible sense, seeing evidence of how we're moving towards greater love and greater wisdom that much more clearly. In the early part of the month, it is a solar eclipse taking place, and this is happening in an area of the sky for you that has to do with friendships. Now, this particular solar eclipse is speaking with lots of power players in the sky: Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn. There's an element here of seeing what you want, an element here of knowing that you can have what you want, but also seeing that there is work to do. I do think, as I look at this, that this is going to play out one of two ways, or one of multiple ways. One of the ways this could work out is just that you meet somebody casually and you realize that this person either embodies what it is that you hope to be. This person is someone who can help you to move in the direction that you desire to go, or this person in some way can be part of your success. But there might be a little something that is holding you back just a little bit. Figure out what that feeling is about, because as I look at this, I feel like it's not going to be that something is handed to you. It's more like you may have to overcome some of your own, whatever it is, insecurities or otherwise, and work towards becoming that person that you desire to be. That pathway will become that much more clearer to you. But it is about you being willing to do the work, is what it comes down to. So right about now, it's great to be social, it's great to meet people, and at the same time, trust the connections that are natural and trust the connections that are not. Because you know if someone is, if you're connecting with someone, and you know when it is that you really, really want to connect with this person, but it isn't happening. So have no expectations, just relax, be friendly, be natural, and especially when it comes to going to any kind of gatherings, social events, or this has to do with any groups you might belong to, memberships you might hold. Go to events related to that in order to have those types of connections and to meet those new people. The chances of you meeting someone who ends up at the very least being an inspiration to you, directly or indirectly, is very strong. And that's another way that this energy can play out, because this is happening in a part of the sky that has to do with friendships in particular. So this is a new person entering your life, a new friend entering your life. Now, in the fullness of time, this could be somebody with a whole lot of potential, which is great. Potential to be more, a business partner, a financial partner, possibly a romantic partner, again, in the fullness of time. But just right now, it might not necessarily be all those other things just yet. First, you've got to go to the friendship level. Be open. Ultimately, being inspired to change in the best possible sense is always good. And there might be a little bit more work to do. There might be a little bit more of you understanding where you want to be this person's friend genuinely, or where it is that you're hoping that they do something for you, or the other way around. So you're going to have to be mindful of that. And yet, for all that, it does look like a great time for you to connect with new people who in some way show you how it is that you can move your life in a direction that feels that much more empowering, that much more inspired, that much more enjoyable, and that much more rewarding personally and creatively, and otherwise, romantically as well, which I'll talk about in the love-focused horoscope. As we move towards the later part of the month, there is a full moon eclipse taking place. This is a lunar eclipse. Now, lunar eclipses bring things to closures. They allow you to feel a sense of release, of letting go, of culmination. And this tends to be something that's a long time coming, but because it's an eclipse, sometimes it's a long time coming, but you really didn't want to accept it. You really did not want to look at it. And that seems to be the case with this particular lunar eclipse. This eclipse is happening in a part of the sky for you that has to do with two things. It has to do with work, okay, so your workplace, and it also has to do with your health. So what I really do like about this is that measure of clarity that's happening with this particular lunar eclipse. Like you get the answer. I think a lot of people out there, a lot of Taurians out there are going to feel that. You get the answer you need so that you can move forward, and in some cases powerfully forward towards empowering yourself on a health level. So there's a clarity, there's an understanding of what you no longer need, and there's an understanding of what you've been doing, you don't need to do anymore. So this can be a time that represents, if you've known something has been off, this can be a time when you finally get the answer, the help, the medication that you need. This can be a time when you get serious about the change that you desire and you reach out for help so that you can let go, particularly letting go of any kind of habits that don't serve you on a health level in the best possible sense. This can also be you understanding that not necessarily just about getting the answer, if you will, but also allowing you to feel that whatever the issue was, whatever the problem was, is now going to be behind you, like having that clarity and having that certainty. For some of you out there, this can be a time of a lot of relief, of an exhale, if you will, where you feel like, okay, now I have the answer, or you feel like, thank God that's over. Thank God I don't have to be worried about that anymore. Thank goodness that I no longer feel the way I did. And for some of you, that answer might come on rather accidentally, rather out of nowhere, but regardless, it makes all the difference. It might even be that you go and you connect with a health professional on one matter, and the solution to that ends up resolving something else that you didn't even realize. You didn't even know that you could feel different. You didn't even know that things could be different, that you could behave differently until you actually had those realizations, until you actually got help for something totally different. So all of this is suggested with this particular lunar eclipse in the later part of the month. And of course, as I said, workplace as well. This can be a time when a female in particular might leave your work place. So where it applies, if you have a work environment, particularly you go to every day, or if you're self-employed and you have clients, this can be a time when either you will have a client reconnect with you, so that, likely a female client, reconnect with you for further clarity, reconnect with you for more services, if you will, right? And it'll feel like, you've been expecting this, you've been waiting for them to come back around so that you can complete the order or complete the task that you originally were anticipating doing for this person. For others of you out there, this is going to represent, like I said, a female leaving the work environment. So if there's a place that you actually go to, a female might leave. It could be somebody in a supervisory role. This might actually happen with this person communicating with you and giving you some clarity, and then you sort of realize that there are things that you can do to utilize this to your advantage, and then you've got to run with that momentum and decide what it is that you are going to do. This also can be a time, if it happens, right? People get together, all kinds of things start playing out, right? Because we all bring who we are, and especially when it's a work-related situation, a workplace-related situation, I personally think that those environments are very karmic. They're very much about all kinds of people, all kinds of energies coming together, and you have to work together, right? Doesn't matter what you feel about this person. Doesn't matter who this person is when they're not at work. What matters is what's happening in that space and your interactions with them in that space. As I look at this particular lunar eclipse, it does suggest that where it is that someone is leaving, they may do so by having a conversation with you that's a little bit like, whether you want to call it heart to heart, whether you want to call it clearing the air, that is possible. And it might be that it's just your relationship with this person goes through a metamorphosis, goes through a change, where either you finally have that conversation that clears the past, clears the air, or you come to a deeper understanding about just what it is, what dynamic is playing out here, and what works and what doesn't, and what you're going to do about that. For a small percentage of you out there, very small percentage, I do think that this can also be a time when talking with a coworker brings about a measure of personal clarity, personal understanding of what it is that you really want to be doing or what you'd rather be doing. I would say to you, be mindful of, and I particularly say this because of Mercury and the Sun in the sign just before yours. I just really want you to be mindful of any kind of gossip or things, right? So don't reveal too much. Don't reveal anything that indicates something else, but rather keep it professional, and it will end up probably being more personal anyways than you thought it would be. What I love about this month for you is that you are connecting with people. People are showing you what's possible for you. And at the same time, you're learning to take the best of care of you in your health, but also in what you are asking for in terms of the people who are around you on a friendship level or in your workplace. You want that clarity, you want respect, you want an understanding of how it is that you are moving forward. And with that genuine desire to know, the answers find you. And in some cases, find you rather quickly.